Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Loud Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Jack Porcari. Today, we are joined by Allison Krongard, co-founder of Her Highness, a women-centric lifestyle cannabis brand that is really working to normalize joy and normalize the plant through quality design. So I just want to start off by saying, Allison, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. So, of course, I wanted to just start off with some background for all of our listeners out there who might not be familiar. So, what did you really specialize in before you became a canna woman? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I've been geeking out on cannabis since I was a teenager. I've loved cannabis. And throughout my life, I always incorporated cannabis, but I never thought about trying to share it or trying to break the taboo or trying to convince other people to use it because I just didn't care. I knew it was right for me and people didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Right.
But it wasn't until my last business, which was called Wall Candy Arts, which was peel and stick wall decor. And I invented and patented peel and stick chalkboard, which I thought of totally high, by the way. And I got 3 utility patents for it. It was commoditized all over the world. Really, I had pop-up shops from Japan into Africa, really everywhere. And actually, my best designs in that company I thought of when I was high, by the way. But
It's an important
anyway,
note. It's an important note.
yeah, it's an important note because of what cannabis is and what it does, because it really helps open up your mind and shut off the part of your brain that, shoots down ideas too fast, I think, before you can explore them. But so long story short, that's what I did before. And then I sold that company to a large company down on Wall Street. And during the time that I had to work for them, I realized that I just wanted to do something in cannabis afterwards because all of the women around me were so heavily into alcohol and pharmaceuticals. And I realized, there's a reason that I look pretty good for my age and I'm playing on 4 tennis teams. And really the only thing that I do differently than other women is I use cannabis instead of alcohol as my go-to. And
Right.
I think that over these years, it's made such an unbelievable difference in how I've aged, how I've parented my children, and
Right.
what that's allowed them to be able to achieve without that sort of natural instinct to say no to everything without thinking, do I really need to say no to this? Is this really a problem? I think so many parents are so tired and stressed and don't stop and listen to their kids' super creative, ridiculous idea because it's probably a waste of time and the wrong way and whatever, but actually it's the best use of time if you can get out of your head for a second. And I think cannabis does that. It's you see so many parents rushing to preschool, get your shoes on, get out, get your 3-year-old to what? Get there and sit in a circle. You leave them in a huff, you're upset, they're upset. Everybody's day starts out like that when really, I think it takes a slightly stoner parent to be hold on, what am I doing? You take your time to put your shoes on. We're not going to get kicked out of this place if we're late. Who cares? Nobody needs to be dropped off in tears because we're 10 minutes late to get to preschool. But it takes a lot to get out of that mentality because that's sort of how we're raised. So to me, long story short, cannabis has been a part of my life for so long, but it wasn't until I sold my previous company that I really And also, I started to see legalization happening, that I really wanted to do something in cannabis. And then my friend Laura, who had a company called Girl Shop, Guy Shop, and Kids Shop that I had worked with in my old company, she had an idea to do some cannabis accessories, and I wanted to do cannabis. And so we got together to do Her Highness, where we do cannabis accessories and CBD, and we merge it all into this whole collection to reach women wherever they are in their cannabis journey.
Oh, I absolutely love that. I've been following, your journey on just everything that's been going on. And I watched one of your interviews, and you mentioned the I just loved how you framed it too, the soul of the high. And I just wanted to start off by asking, like, what does getting high mean to you? And then, maybe we could talk about your journey and like what it's been like to talk to women about that and reach them where they're at.
Yeah, for me, like I love to get high to work because I work in a creative field, like to come up with new ideas, to solve design problems with products that we have, to I love to use it to think of new product ideas. My best ideas come from when I'm high. But also for me, like I use it for so many things because I'm so passionate about the plant. I would sort of go all the way back to where it begins for me is that anything that's good that I like, cannabis makes better for me, and anything bad, cannabis makes better. So no matter where I am, when I add cannabis, in my life, it makes it better. If I have pain in my body for whatever reason, cannabis makes it
Yeah.
better. If I have pain in my mind or I'm upset, like something's going on, I find that cannabis helps me center myself and find my way. Or if I'm super happy and I'm so excited to do something I love to do, like I love gardening and I love going to the flower nursery. Like getting high and going to my happy place and picking flowers is like such a joy. It takes it like from 100 to 1,000 for me.
Right,
Um,
right.
I mean, literally anything, or sex, or reading, or a bubble bath. Like, I love a high bubble bath on a rainy day. Like, that
Mm.
combination, sitting looking out the window, makes it just so perfect. So, for me, cannabis, like, make simple moments in life that we would normally totally take for granted helps me be present. Like, let me pick what scent oil I'm going to put in my bath today. Which
Yeah.
bubbles am I going to use? That's because I'm high. Like, if I was totally sober, I'd like pick the closest. I would, whatever, do it all without much thought and intention because my phone is going off. I have to be somewhere to do something. I'm always thinking about whatever. I've got dogs, I've got, life going on. But so, yeah, so how I use it is it sort of centers me to be truly present for life, which is what opens up all the possibilities.
Right. And I've definitely seen that. I take it every day for as a medicine for epilepsy, and just seeing the way I've been able to cut down on half of my dose with pharmaceuticals, and how it's really been transformational in my life personally. But I think there's always that stigma, and that's really what you're trying to break, is the efficiency of the high and the functionality of where cannabis belongs on the shelf. So like, where do you see the equation with work? Because I think that's a big thing with women, especially because they're a big part of the workforce. The I, I think that's an important conversation to have with work and weed and and women.
I mean, I think it depends what you do. Like, I am a better writer when I'm high, I'm funnier when I'm high. Um, my writing is just more clever. Um,
Mm,
it's a little edgier. I think I take more chances and it works.
yeah, yeah.
So I think depending on what I'm doing, being high enhances it. Um, I don't get high to look at like our tax documents, like, certain things, it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
help me. But so much of what I do is creative, like even, from sales and marketing to production, logistics, like it's all problem solving. It's all whack-a-mole every day. Like it's a new thing that comes up. It's all, um, how can I reach this person and convince them to do what I want them to do? And for me, being a little bit high helps me connect to people more easily because I can listen better.
Breaks those walls down. Yeah, definitely. And I think like that's important for, with the alcohol and pharmaceuticals, and just kind of again recognizing the lifestyle of cannabis and what that can truly be if we understand that. So amazing. Now, what is Her Highness really focusing on currently? Is there any new products you're developing? I mean, I know you have the pleasure oil, you have so many key like lineups on your website. But like, what are you working on right now?
Well, right now for THC, we're really focused on the New York market. Um, it's been amazing. We keep selling out. Um, I don't know if people can see. This is what we're selling in New York. It's these gold boxes. Um,
Yes, yes.
we have a bunch of different strains: Giggle Puffs, Sleepy Puffs, Stoner Puffs, Furry Puffs, and we are going to do something new for summer that is going to have a new look that we're really excited about.
New look. Ooh.
And yeah, I mean, and really, it's like our pre rolls keep selling out because all of our strains are super euphoric with appetite suppressant terpenes, and our pre roll cones with the extra long crutch. Let's see, I have some right here. Um,
Yeah, those catwalkers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's the crutch is oh, here's some. Yeah, the crutch is super long. So I'm gonna open one. Let's see if I can open this. So you don't damage your eyelashes and your nails while you're smoking it. I'll show you.
Ooh, very thoughtful. This is like a live unboxing, y'all. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Very
So
regal. Yeah.
exactly. So they're like this. So
Okay.
you never have to hold it like this, but you can smoke it to the end and still hold it nicely like a lady. And they're so long and thin that you're not
Right.
coughing your lungs out. And so they're super high THC. They're all in the 30s and they have appetite suppressant terpenes. So you don't get the munchies. So all of it is super feminine inside and out. So when you ask like what we're trying to do, we're trying
Yeah.
to reach women wherever they are in their cannabis journey through through these products. So we're also looking to reintroduce our CBD pleasure oil, which has been sold out for a long time, and we just have had this wait list, and now we're finally found a really good partner to make that for us. Also going back into pre-rolls in our hemp line, but also exploring some of the psychoactive cannabinoids through hemp for that
Right.
line. And then the accessories were just, our Get Lit kit is really our star for the summer for hostess gifting. And it's the perfect time because so many people are socializing and getting together and smoking. So um,
Right.
that's really what we're pushing there.
Yeah. No, I love that, and I think I just love the punniness to it. Put your grass in our snake. There's so many different things about it that are just really unique. I wanted to like tie it back to the social equity, which I know is a big part of a campaign that you're currently running. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, actually, we are. we have for a very long time focused on female cannabis prisoners. And I think that the industry does a really good job supporting cannabis prisoners in general, but a lot of that attention goes to men. And so we really wanted to shine a light on the women. Um, so we did that for several years. And now, I think with legalization now really sweeping the country, cannabis prisoners may be less of a issue because people are being released and not arrested like they used to be. And as a breast cancer survivor myself, and I leaned so heavily into cannabis and it helped me so much, I really want to help get the word out to other women about how unbelievably helpful cannabis is while you're going through a breast cancer journey. So I really hope to um, figure out the right way. We don't do anything super fast because we have to really think it through, but I, would like to figure out the right way to either help women get access or help raise money to educate women with breast cancer on cannabis and different uses for cannabis. I mean, it's so much more than, potential anti-nausea. It's so much more than that.
Right. Right. And I think it's important just to know how versatile it can be. Like you're using infused foot pads. You're making all of these unique, like nobody would think that you would put weed or the plant into these products, but you guys are finding unique ways to do that, which is great.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, our whole premise, the whole point of Her Highness is to bend cannabis to suit women instead of the other way around. So if we can take all of these cannabis products that are out there that are really wonderful and tweak them to really suit women, then we've actually created something new to help normalize the plant. And that's our goal. Like, really, the goal is that cannabis is as normal as caffeine and
Right.
sugar and, alcohol and whatever other people do to satisfy imbalances that they're feeling and soothe themselves. Like, really, cannabis is the best option, obviously, in my opinion. But even for people with, people who love alcohol, like I'm not telling people to give up alcohol. I mean, for me, alcohol ruins my high. Like I just have no place for alcohol left in my life. But I
Hmm.
know a lot of people are passionate about alcohol, but I think they're great together. And I think a little less alcohol and a little cannabis combination goes a long way. I'm really passionate about making more products that people want to share, to leave out in their home and share with people. Because it's like if you love alcohol, people have decanters and beautiful glassware and display their liquor. But if you love cannabis, like who's going to display their ugly jars and their, nasty ashtrays? Like that's why we have beautiful marble rolling trays and marble ashtrays, because we want people to display their love of cannabis to help normalize it.
Right. Yeah, and you see that on your shop. It's very curated. Everything you put together is super thoughtful. Do you see this maybe leading to, and I don't know, this is a prediction, but like leading to an industry trend to really have more of these not only women run brands, but rather focusing on the end user and bringing that to the light.
I mean, I hope so. As a heavy consumer, I'd like to see more products, and I want to see more women stepping into the space, and I want to see more women using the plant, and I want to help guide more women into this space. Um,
Right.
it's an emerging industry, and I think there's plenty of room, and there's so much room for innovation here. And we're right at the beginning. So I hope to see more women coming into the space and more women or female oriented products. that really
Right.
speak to women's special needs and interests. And I am seeing that. But I also really want to see more products focused on female pleasure, because I think a lot of people coming into the space creating product for women are focusing on what's wrong, like your period cramps, you can't sleep, you're too anxious, whatever.
Right.
And products geared towards men are focused on euphoria and feeling good. But women need to feel good, and women need euphoria, and women um, need to be tantalized with products and invited to feel good, and not just to use cannabis for what feels bad. And I think that women are so used to being marketed to that way. And I would like to, as this industry is emerging and all these new brands are coming into the space, I'd like to get ahead of that message with, truly recreational product for women. And so that's why I always talk about euphoria and products that feel good and the orgasm oil and everything that makes women feel good in any way that we can through this brand is the goal.
Right. Yeah, and you've definitely had a career before cannabis that gave you a lot of experience to be able to, really be the one leading the charge on a lot of these issues. I think it's just really unique, giving a lot of money back to other women that are rebuilding their lives post incarceration, and this really unique business structure. Do you see cannabis as an industry influencing overall like better business practices in other industries too, by way of example?
God, that's a great question. I mean, I wish. It's like, in some ways, it's like the cannabis brands are so authentic. So many of them are truly authentic and want to help people, love the plant, fought for legalization. There's so much good, but it's such a mess. It's so hard to make money. Like, it's so hard to weather the ups and downs of changing laws and, oh, now you need to throw away all this packaging and all. It's just so hard to stay alive that it's like right now the cannabis industry shouldn't be a model for anything unless it's like a cautionary tale. but um but the point you're making is valid, that there is that because so many brands and people and founders in this space are truly authentic in their reason for being here is not for the money. It's because they love cannabis so much, it's helped them so much that they can't stand to witness the amount of human suffering out there without sharing this wonderful tool, or at least, trying to reach people. So there's a lot of that, and I really do feel that. But it's just in its infancy. This industry needs time to figure out, this government needs some more time, clearly, to figure out how to legalize this product. And I don't know when that's going to happen. It's like when we started now, almost 8 years ago, if you said in
Yeah.
8 years it's still going to be federally illegal, I would have said, there, absolutely not. No way. No, that's impossible. And here we are. And so I don't know. I just hope for legalization and normalization of the product and the industry so we can finally grow and research and reach our potential as an
Right.
industry, and as humanity, reach our potential by including cannabis and mushrooms, I think, more and more into our culture.
Right, and I mean it is already a lot in a lot of ways. Within it, we maybe don't realize it, or don't care to pay attention, or don't want, or nervous to pay attention to those parts. But what would you say excites you the most? I mean, like New York State, across the country and the globe, really, it's very rocky for the cannabis industry in general. But what excites you the most about developing these women centric products, about just really developing something new?
What excites me the most is when women like come to us and meet us and say like, your product means something to me, like I keep hunting this down, I love this product, I love how you did whatever it is, like, and it's something that we actually planned and thought of and thought like, oh, this is good for women, we wish we had this. I
Right.
feel like what excites me is that women get us, and that really speaks to the authenticity of the brand and the message, and sort of, it's like we're humble, but we are not going away. Like, we are not going to get shuttled into the low dose section. Like, women don't need that. Like, there's so much pink and low dose directed to women. Like, we're not children, we are adults, and like sometimes we want to get fucked up, like, why should we have to pretend like, oh, I don't want to get stoned, I just want my, whatever, my lower back to feel better. Like, no, sometimes we want to get super ripped just like men do, and that's valid.
Right.
And it excites me that we are reaching women and making women feel good. And what excites me about the industry is more legalization, slowly but surely. It's happening, more states. Although it does feel like two steps forward, one step back. But it's like we are pushing, um, and I'm seeing sales in dispensaries. Like, people want legal weed. And
Right.
I think that's really exciting. And I think that really speaks to the fact that people want tested product. People are thinking about cannabis as a wellness product and being thoughtful. And I think that's progress.
Definitely. And, it's going to take time to really integrate something that is, part of our spiritual lives, medical lives, part of fun, part of so many different things, right? But I wanted to ask a little bit because it kind of talks what we're, ties what we're talking about. The just the copy on your website where it says welcome to a new highness, and it has the serpent, it's maybe like rebirth. I'm like, what does this mean? Like, I have to know, like, what's this new highness we're talking about?
Um, with the new highness is cannabis products created by women for women that really speak to women along, wherever they are in cannabis. Like, our pleasure oil gives women bigger, better orgasms. It's an amazing formulation. And it's the new highness is using cannabis to come better, and using cannabis to have a better time with your friends, like our giggle puffs,
Yeah.
the terpene blend, the appetite suppression, the extra THC. They are giggly perma smile with energy, and it's a new way of being with your friends and socializing with your friends. And the stoner puffs, to me, like, that's perfect for walking down the street in New York City, window shopping, looking in the just sort of being in my own head. But it's also perfect for the bubble bath. It's perfect for moments of euphoric introspection, which is such a pleasurable female state. And
Yeah.
so it's sort of, this new highness is this really, really carefully researched and edited formulation to create memorable highs.
I love that. I love that because, and I think it's the humulene, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
these terpene blends, for anyone that might be curious, they come together. Every plant has a unique expression, and so you guys are essentially getting strains, well thought of strains. What the chemovar, the profile is very flavorful, but it's not going to make you go and get a cheeseburger or the typical stoner. Like, what, just maybe break it down for anyone that's curious. Like, why would we not want to do that? Why couldn't we just grow weed and sell it?
Well, I mean, we do, and that's fine. But when we first started talking to women about why they don't use cannabis, so many women would say, "Oh, well, when I was in college, I ate a brownie and had 4 bowls of macaroni and cheese, and it was disgusting, and I felt disgusting." And, that's how women think about cannabis. And we just want to change that. We just want to break that. And we can't. And so we are using the natural plant, but we're just adding that cannabinoid that helps, curb your appetite. So we're just trying to we want to be an on ramp for women. We want to solve whatever problem has been expressed to us by women for why cannabis is an issue. We want to meet them and solve it for them so they can give it another chance.
Right. Yeah, that's great. Well, I don't have any other questions for you. Is there anything else you'd like to share about Her Highness? I mean, I want to give you the mic here. I think this is
Thank
important
you.
to highlight. Yeah.
So I just want to share that we really are passionate about women and making women feel good. And we really believe that there's so much in cannabis for women. And I guess, anybody listening to this with ideas or feedback or anything, like, we want to make this the best experience for women. So reach out to us on any of the social media platforms. We're at Her Highness NYC, or through our website, herhighness.com. And, we are part of the community, and we are reachable, and we, want to hear from people and communicate.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, yes, Loud Thoughts will definitely share that to our mission. In case you're curious, is to expand cannabis-infused storytelling through human narrative. So, really fits in to everything we've been doing. And it actually it makes me think of one last bonus question before we end this.
Yeah.
We end this interview. I know a lot of the products for the women that were formerly incarcerated have their face on them. They have their story. A lot of visual storytelling, which is really key for any sort of branding. Is there any maybe story that stuck out to you and maybe just impacted you as an entrepreneur, as someone that sees a lot of women day to day?
Oh my God, I've heard so many stories of women. I guess one story that I've heard over and over again, which is really, really sad, actually, in that vein, is that so many women who are in trouble for cannabis got in trouble because of a man in their life.
Oh,
Um,
break that
and
down for us. Yeah.
well, I think, we have draconian cannabis laws. Like, if you give up someone, you get a lesser sentence. So if your, girlfriend partner is with you to do your drop off, or somehow involved, or allows you to use their bank account, or in some way, they get sent up the same way, with the same amount of time. And it's really sad and really scary, especially when women are incarcerated, because then children lose their moms, children go to foster care. It's like the whole family breaks apart. So, I think, as a human being and as a brand and as an industry and as a world, anything that we can do to help support women is meaningful, because that helps protect children.
Yes. Yeah. That's so beautiful. We need to highlight, because visibility inspires action, and so that's beautiful. So again, I just wanted to say thank you, Allison, so much
You.
for being here with me. Again, I'm Jack Porcari. You can find me on Instagram at the Canna Professor. And this concludes our episode. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much. Have a great night.